I can't prove this, but I strongly believe that training through the transverse plane and just through different movement patterns, but training through the transverse plane and doing more rotational work is one of the best things you can do for your spinal health and for core health and for keeping your back safe and healthy and pain-free. I see so many people who've got back pain who are just stiff and they never move. And because they're stiff, they don't move out of that range of motion. So they get more stiff and they get more stiff and they get more stiff. I think and this is a huge issue I see in the fitness industry now, because right now, hypertrophy training has made a big comeback, getting huge. And this time around, it's different because it's not just dudes who want to get huge. Now women really want to build big muscle as well, which is great. But like we're seeing a huge resurgence in hypertrophy training, which is very cool. But now hypertrophy training has gone to the extreme of like essentially they're saying volume doesn't matter, or almost that volume doesn't matter. That it's only intensity that matters the most by far. And you only need like 1 to 2 sets of like 3 to 4 exercises, and that's it, as long as you go as hard as you possibly can at those exercises. And I think there's a difference between what is effective and what is optimal, right? And what I'm seeing is a lot of people just going unbelievably hard to failure or like 1 RIR, 1 rep in reserve, on these like big compound movements that are all in the sagittal plane, all like straight up and down, but no one's moving side to side. No one's moving in the transverse plane, doing rotational work. And I see these people like moving like shit, and they're super stiff and they have a lot of pain. And it's like, well, yeah, because you're not moving your body. Like it's one thing to train a muscle through a range of motion. It's another thing to move your body as a unit. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're training your clients, it's one thing if you're training someone to be a high-level bodybuilder. Yeah, give them what they need in order to compete at a high level. But if you're training everyday people with this like outrageously high intensity protocol with minimal movement in other planes of motion, I think you're making a big mistake.
It's also not that, like, you're not giving away that much hypertrophy progress to program in some movement in other planes. Like, especially for someone who's not an elite level bodybuilder, any beginner or intermediate lifter can make awesome muscle gain progress while also having a program that incorporates exercise selection that leads to exercise selection and mobility between sets, if you want to program something like that, that leads to your client feeling really, really good while also building strength and muscle. Boom. Mm-hmm. Win-win.
Yeah.
Like, how much progress are you really leaving on the table? Not an amount that matters, especially for a natty intermediate trying to build muscle, which is like, you know, pissing into the wind anyway. Like, or that might not be walking uphill, whatever the proper. Sometimes feels like pissing into the wind.
Pissing in the wind.
That's for sure.